Hey guys, Richard at Writing's Room again. So on to book 8, and again keeping this book in the same position as before because it blocks out the sun. I really should do a better job, but I really can't be bothered. Yeah, book 8, Revelations. That is indeed Jason on the front cover. A little bit different from the beginning book. He's now got the yellow eyes, the red lightsaber. In the previous book he was building the red lightsaber. Now he's using it, and yeah, his eyes do go yellow most of the time. So yeah, on to it. So this is big. This is the issue. This is way too big. It's like, including the bit from Invincible at the end, it's over 430 pages. Yeah, 410. I'm not counting Invincible, the finale. And so much of that is on Mandalore, all that Boba Fett's people. At least half of it is. And this is the big issue I've got. No issue with Mandalore, seeing their culture, all that stuff. I did like that bit in the Republic Commando books. The problem began when the anti-Jedi bias kicked in, and there's frankly not enough Jedi around for that to be the case in here. Plus they do go to like Jaina when she's on Mandalore training with Boba Fett and one of his other guys. But yeah, it's way too much of this. And Boba Fett got introduced in book 2, Cam Travis's book, well, I've reintroduced. You sort of had him talk about his backstory, he had his family, etc., but you never saw Mandalore properly. You did. You do in this one, and it's spoiler for book 9. It barely comes up in that one. All of the Mandalore stuff has felt way too disconnected from the larger story. I'd have liked a trilogy of just Boba Fett and the Mandalorians. That would have been pretty cool, but they've been blatantly forced into this series, and it's just a waste of time. So much. One of the things that bugs me out about any story is when things that don't really matter come up over and over. And yeah, the Mandalore stuff could have been scrapped. They could have cut this down. Obviously, this 100 pages would be way too short. Should have had to write other stuff, but yeah, just trim out the Mandalore stuff to the bare minimum to keep it smaller or add more connected. Because the issue with this and Invincible is it feels like there's been some sort of a gap. Invincible, a lot of things are happening that feel like there's been nothing which leads to it. Jason publicly revealing his new identity, for example. You think there'll be a book where Jason publicly does that. I'm Darth Vader, Star Lord of the Sith, I rule the Galactic Alliance. None of that. It's just kind of you get from the end of this one, and then you get to Invincible, where suddenly everything's changed. So yeah, if they cut down all the Mandalore stuff, they could have put that in, and it would have been a lot better. So yeah, on to the other stuff then. So previous book, Leia managed to get Alana back. Jason basically has nothing left to lose at that point. Ben's proved what he's done. Yeah, so that's basically it. So they're basically working what to do. Jaina realizes she can't outduel Jason. I mean, she should. Jaina's put like a hell of a lot of training in with her lightsabers, her force powers, so she's convinced Jason's going to be better, which debatable. Jason's learned some dodgy dark side powers, sure. But in terms of lightsaber combat, Jason's always been really good. But it feels like Jaina's the better jeweler. I mean, the fact that you see her constantly trading, with Zek, with Jag, other Jedi all the time. She's so committed to being the sword of the Jedi, and Jason probably just has the Sith arrogance where he thinks he's better than he really is. So yeah, she's basically goes to Mandalore to learn from Boba Fett how to new skills, type of attacks that she wouldn't learn through Luke's Jedi Academy, which is fine. It doesn't feel like it's a huge insult to the Jedi way. I mean, yeah, it's good that there was a place to learn new things, new combat which don't involve the Force so much, and it's good. I mean, in New Jedi Order books, there's constant stuff like that. I mean, Corran killed one of the top Yuuzhan warriors by basically dueling with his lightsaber and doing the trick where he extends the blade, and the warrior had no idea about that and he killed him. So they do need to do things like that, and Jaina's twin as well, and he's obviously got more powerful. So yeah, I don't mind that stuff, but some people feel like it's a bit of a the Jedi suck, the Mandalorians are better. That stuff will start popping up, but the basic concept of her learning unorthodox fighting skills from Boba Fett and his people, I think is good. It's a good story overall. Some more unique stuff, like Boba Fett's wife was frozen carbonite for decades. So there's a lot of stuff going on more, but again, none of it really matters in the future, so it feels like it's a complete waste of time. What else happened? Yes, they sent a strike team to Coruscant, led by Kyle Katarn and a bunch of other Jedi to try and kill Jason, and Kyle Katarn just gets injured, one Jedi gets killed, and the others just leave. And again, Kyle Katarn is... I've got Jedi Academy. In fact, I'm looking at earlier my Xbox X downstairs. I know how popular and beloved he is, and some people really didn't like that Jason's able to defeat him. But yeah, at least he lived, even though it should have, his injury should have killed him. It didn't. And what else happens in this book? Oh, yes, so they continue with the butchering of Tahiri. I hated this. I mean, Tahiri's on board with Jason because, first of all, she's going to do her duty of Galactic Alliance and like not mutiny like the other Jedi did. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. And then she decides she wants to become his dark side apprentice once he confirms what he is. And for some reason, she wants to become a Sith lady and learn the dark side and turn against the Jedi. I don't understand why whatsoever. She's clearly been seduced by Jason's flow walking powers because was it in this or the previous book? Basically, she flow walked with Jason to the point during the book's spoiler for NGO, Star by Star, the book where Anakin Solo dies, and she like kisses him goodbye. In that, she didn't kiss him, so in this she does, and she's basically addicted to that. Again, you'd forget that Tahiri is like at least 30 in this book. You think she is more like 20. You know, she's just addicted to the flow ability to like thinking she can change the future and see her loved ones again. And again, Anakin died a long time ago. She should be over it by now. She's really not. And yeah, that's presumably how she's been sucked into like Jason, like his ability to flow walk, and how she thinks she could like change the past slightly. But yeah, under his orders, she, again, this is just the worst decision ever, murdered Grand Admiral Pellaeon. So yeah, he's a major part of this book, which is great because he's not one of the few Empire leaders that she like has any common sense. He's the one who knew when to surrender before this. So the New Republic, and is a huge part of Galactic Alliance. He brings Admiral Daala back, which is a surprise. She's the villain from the Jedi Academy books. I didn't read all the EU ones from the Bantam era, like leading up to this, so I didn't know she appeared again in I think it's one of the trilogies. I don't know if it's Crystal Star era or another one, but yeah, I've never read it, and she's back in there. But she comes back in here, and she's definitely been. She's no longer the one woman who like mass murdered innocent civilians for no reason in Jedi Academy. That's dumb. So yeah, it's good to see her coming back. I was thought, wow, Yvonne Isard. I remembered. Oh yeah, it's not her. I know why. I had to like Wikipedia why she's not man. But yeah, so she's back, and yeah, Tahiri basically assassinates Pellaeon, which is just wrong. Like he doesn't do what she wants, so she just shoots him in the back, and it just feels so bad. It's such a horrific like insult, such a great character. And again, I remember I read how Cam Travis didn't like have the decency to let Timothy Zahn know she was going to kill Mara Jade off. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same thing here. So yeah, Tahiri's now like willing to murder people, not just random soldiers, but leaders, you know, key important people. It's just so wrong that they've done this to her, just because she loves Anakin still and wants to keep going back to like change the past to maybe save him. It's like, come on. So yeah, really hated stuff like that. I heard Tahiri got butchered, and here comes my dog. Oh yes, she did. So yeah, overall, it's not a bad book, but it's too long. There's way too much Mandalore stuff. There's a bit again. It's borders on the Jedi suck. The Mandalorians are better than you, but it's nowhere near as bad as Order 66 and the one right before it as well. But yeah, be warned of that. So yeah, not a bad book, but it's definitely right in the bottom tier. Right, so that's it then. So I'll see you next time for Invincible.